Hallo miteinander, I'm Geshady6, and this is Double Focus. Last time, two Goliaths won over David. Such an unlikely outcome for a change, it's only fair. The bullet pad would have reminded us of this encounter and the recruitment of Shinmyomaru, had I not. There was no mention of the curious new zone we discovered, but that's alright. We'll learn of its many secrets today. Do you still remember the very first episode of the LP? Patchouli gave us a task then to find the missing Koakuma. If you thought this was at all doable, you are very naive. We never found Koakuma's remains. Let's face it, she can't possibly be alive, probably starved by now. Let's tell Patchouli that we've given up on her mission. Oh, she might get really mad. We better take cover under the furniture. Oh, we found Koakuma. She was helpless under the table, and nobody noticed the little devil. Especially not our brainiac Patchouli, who was here all this time. How in the world did nobody find her? Well, Patchouli's excuse, it was too dusty. Kneeling on the floor is just too pedestrian for this magical lady. This whole ordeal is another great example for this game's humor. What the player or viewer can plainly see doesn't matter. Only our inchling friend had the power to solve this puzzle. Our prize is easy breathing. It serves the same purpose as Momiji's beast, and might be the best passive Aya can equip. Our Crow Tengu's stamina comes back so quickly with it, you'll have a hard time running out. Reuniting Patchouli and Koakuma also allows us to get another photograph for our precious collection. And there's even more to gain from these two. If you've picked up Alice from her forest hideout, which we have, she will engage in a fairly lengthy magician's conference with Patchouli here. The two smarty pants will theorize zealously about the book world and the enigmatic Book King. I think I have to remind you that Double Focus does have a story. One that hasn't been very predominant lately, to say it carefully. We've been mostly fighting fairies and meeting other Touhou characters. Yet the problem still persists that our heroes are trapped in the book world, their powers are sealed, and we don't know our antagonist's true nature or motive. We do learn a few things here, such as that being sucked into a book is a reversal of logic. In Soviet Gensoukyo, book consumes you. Sorry, had to do it. Furthermore, the fairies we are constantly battling are as powerful as they are, because they're either too dumb and carefree to be affected by the book world, or because the Book King wants it that way. I believe witnessing this discussion between Alice and Patchouli is one of the requirements for the best ending. There is indeed more than one ending to Double Focus. I hope it wasn't too early to reveal such a spicy information. You can bet I won't tell you what those endings look like before we're there. There are some other factors when it comes to what ending you receive. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Patchouli's quest is among them. These two library dwellers have a few more lines of dialogue afterwards, but it's nothing too important. Koakuma has a cute design in this game. It's a wonder she has a design at all when in 2002 she was just a grainy mass of pixels. It's thanks to the fans' curiosity and obsession that she even got more canonical appearances, and we somewhat know what she's supposed to look like. That will do it for the loose ends of the previous episode. I'm actually glad I didn't include that plot dump last time. I did not remember this scene being as lengthy as it was. Now we can return to wannabe Venice and the many killers and vigilantes inhabiting it. Down and to the left of here is the next easy secret. All we have to do is break the wall and crouch. There is no way Momiji couldn't lie down at this point. This next set of rooms will prove how malevolent Water City area can be. Enemies are everywhere, and Guy Fawkes fairies are so obnoxious when they're not confined to very thin pillars. Their attacks come out way too fast, I can barely ever dodge their throwing knives. Raisin will deal with this very oblivious Jason fairy for us. Damage alone won't alert anyone, they have to spot you first. She did not guard anything. The portal book inside the fake wall was the only thing this room had to offer. Sneaking up from behind is also the best approach to the Guy Fawkes fairies. They are most easily taken out when they stop to take off and admire their masks. Serves them right. Hugo Weaving didn't insist on showing his face in the movie. That's how he usurped the role. The fairies on the gondola are harmless and can be photographed. That's already the most pleasant aspect of this infernal room. Getting the Book of Souls in the center is an ordeal like few others in Double Focus. First off, trusty Byakuren must punch open both sides for us, then we can try and dash through the middle. The emphasis lies on trying. There was no try. Messing up costs tons of health, even if you miraculously save yourself to land. Alright, this time we'll do better, and wouldn't you know it, we succeeded. If you do this maneuver just right, you'll land safely on the other moving platform. I have done so exactly once. At least we can take the relaxing way across now. These have to be the first fairies that aren't total jerks. The water, as you just saw, does the same as the jello of the previous zone. We never actually fell in the jello, but I explained what it did. More importantly, there's a new adversary in this chamber, and once again, they're straight out of a horror film. Oh wait, the Jigsaw Fairy is already dead. Nothing to worry about, I guess. Surprise! She was only pretending to be dead and woke up as soon as we took the bait of the Cure Book Plus. What a twist! Who would have thought that corpse would just stand up and start moving again? The Jigsaw Killer scared us out of the room, and now we have to wait for all the enemies to pass once more. We probably would have been faster if we just went the low route over the tiny platforms, but I wanted to give the Jigsaw Fairy some more screen time. Raisin will once again get rid of all danger with her incredible range. The Jigsaw Fairy is lying a little too low for the bullets to hit, unfortunately. Their weapon of choice is a bone saw. Tell me of a more fitting one, I dare you. Did you see Saw? I did when I was little at the playground. It went up and down and down and up. The movie Saw I saw too, not Saw 2, only the first. I've heard it's a franchise that didn't really need sequels. Watching the original is supposedly good enough. Only a single enemy in that room, but man, was it problematic for us. Is there an item hidden in here? There is, but we can't get it yet. We did get to see an intriguing statue in there though. It had such blank and expressionless eyes, a face like a mask, hard to tell who it was. We are putting our next portal here, not just to rest up, but we'll also be able to quickly reach the statue room again when we have the necessary tool. We'll get it very late in the game, when it's almost over even. The room to the right is nothing spectacular. You would suspect a secret in that water pit, wouldn't you? It's what I thought, but no, you only take damage. Speaking of secrets, to the left is the very last item I found on my first playthrough, and I pulled even more of my hair out for this one than the one at Rumia's place. The Cure Book Plus is easy enough to get. But the portal book cannot be reached from that position. It must be behind the next breakable wall. No? There are many around. It's got to be one of them, right? The third has a smaller treasure inside, and the step at the very top cannot be broken. It simply has to be this one. Huh, nothing works. What's the solution here? Get this. Yeah, you can do that. The portal book was plain to see. It's so taunting. That drove me crazy until I finally guessed right. Please hold back your scream. We're up against the Ghostface Fairy. That's actually the official name. I always just thought of him as the killer from Scream. Ghostface fairies move slowly, but will rush forward when they spot you. They always teleport away after an attack, smartly simulating the many "where is he now" moments of the movie. Also new to this room are brick walls obscuring our vision. Double Focus loves putting items behind these, so always check thoroughly. Water City area has turned out to be the home of demented masked murderers. At first it seemed like an oddity, but now it's become a theme. Raisin didn't help us against this Jason fairy as much as I had hoped, but that's okay. One more hit, and we can grab the passive Revenge. Both Tengu can use this one, although it's not that great. I equipped it a little too hastily, so I better tell you what it does. Revenge grants you some stamina when you take damage. The amount you get is decent. What makes the skill unattractive is that this is the kind of game where you never want to get hit, as dumb as that sounds. Another inventive maneuver is required here. A timely mid-air character switch got us a cure book. To wrap up about the Revenge passive, I may not like the skill, but its symbol cracks me up. It is a handgun. No one in this game uses a handgun. When AquaStyle made that symbol, you know they drew a blank, shrugged, and just picked whatever. A slow ride yields a Book of Souls. We're so close to a full health bar. We couldn't be using these sluggish platforms if we were doing a speed run. Double Focus does lend itself for speedrunning. If you remember the title screen, there's a time attack mode. In it, you must beat the game in a single sitting, but it's also more forgiving. Dying respawns you in the same room, only penalizing 5 minutes to the clock. Windrobe, which we just found, is a bit like the parry skill, only that it specifically protects against projectiles. Again, the chance to evade is not especially high. These gondoliers are very different from the ones in the spike-laden room, not at all as benevolent. It should be no surprise they have a separate archive entry. They will pick up, in a way create an enemy whenever they pass a brick wall, and deploy this foe as you get too close. Their passenger may be a negligible Night Fairy, a Spearman Fairy, a Little Red Riding Hood Fairy, or, if you're especially unlucky, a Guy Fawkes Fairy. Two of their kind are over here, but are relatively easily defeated as Momiji, so long as you don't get careless and ride the platform too far up. We could have also used Aya's newspapers, but I didn't want to spend time editing setups. There is nothing for us at the top, right now at least. To get something from there, we need the same ability as we did in the statue room. Here's another screen like the first that had ghost face fairies, except that there are also jigsaw fairies hidden on the ground. Sneaky. About the Scream franchise, good movies, but you know what I'm most grateful for? They influenced Scary Movie. Love it. My favorite scene, when Ghostface joins the teens to smoke weed. How his mask changes when he's stoned, it's the best. Small bit of trivia while we're at it. Scary Movie was a working title for Scream, but they felt it sounded too silly to keep. Pretty genius to then use it for a mock comedy if you ask me. Back to our video game. Just like Desert Area leads you down into a tomb, Water City Area descends into a sewage system. Oh, the obligatory sewer level. Nothing smells more like adventure than the fairy feces floating in the water below us, am I right? Despite this location being less than hygienic, we still have gondolas transporting customers. Gondolier fairies are indestructible, by the way, so you can't get rid of the root of the problem. You're just going to have to accept that they will continue to create baddies. There's a weird quirk about gondolier fairies you're likely going to run into. If you defeat enemies on the gondola before aggroing them, they will stay on the boat while not actually being alive anymore. Only when they step off will their animation for being banished from the book world play. It's not a glitch per se, but it seems a little strange, looks a little unpolished. This Jason fairy was actually worth battling. You're going to need a lot of attacks to uncover the prizes of this room, and you don't want to deal with flying machetes while doing so. A normal bucket, huh? This would be junk in any other situation, but we know someone who will be overjoyed to have it. Also, this is the only water hole you can drop into, and it'll actually get you somewhere, instead of just causing damage. We're approaching that time again, and so quickly that we can't even deliver little Kisume's bucket today. How mean and sadistic of us, but she waited for so long, she can wait a while longer. I'm Geshiri6, this was Double Focus, and next time, someone who's already dressed for a visit to the Sexy Brutale. Bis bald!